Welcome, everybody. Hello. Hello. Welcome to another episode of the HELLION ARTSHOW. And we are back with some returning guests. It's been quite a while. I am here with John Hervey and Rod Luper. And we're going to be talking about probably like both campaigns. We're going to be talking about Black Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and also I want to talk about your current running campaign, Magna and the Posse, Volume 2. Actually, they're both Volume 2. They both look awesome. It's good stuff.
Thank you.
It's but it's I'm excited to get into this. It's been a while, like I said. I'm so excited to finally, especially you, John. We got to catch up again. You were on the channel like a year ago or something, and then we just haven't talked since. So
my bad.
It's gonna be good.
My bad.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's not. I fall off the face of the earth sometimes because, listen, life gets busy. But real quick, first, before we get started, let me say hi to everybody. Epignosis, hello. Rocky the Black Dragon, hello Rocky. JW Learning. Maromi, thank you for the links, and Alex VRB, all the regulars. I saw Granda's there, NPC Oasis. Hail, thank you everybody for being here. You guys are awesome. I have the links for both campaigns that I just mentioned in the description of the video. So if you're just stopping by, and first of all, if you're just stopping by and you can't stay, bookmark this stream and come back to watch the replay, but do click on that link and take a look and consider backing these because these are awesome looking books. Reese M and also Lurkmore. Hello, Hellions. I like that. Hello, Hellions and everybody else. Hola todos. Hello, hi everybody. Yeah. All right. So
I like that Granda comics.
Granda's a friend of the channel, but also a real life friend. I met him when I was in Colombia visiting some other artists that I know.
Sweet.
And he does really great work. I can't wait. I don't think he has anything released in English yet, but I know he wants to have something released in English, perhaps with crowdfunding, and I can't wait.
That's sweet. Telling you, it's international, folks.
It is.
Oh,
This is an international operation here. We got connections.
That's right. We got people.
We got people. I know a guy. I know a lot of people.
I know a guy.
I know a guy. Rod abandoned Michael Bancroft? What? What happened? Wait, what is this? What's going on?
I was there before the show started. I was in Twitter talking with John and say, man, we will start the show. And then he say, no, a little bit later. So I say, okay, I will be on the chat of Michael Bancroft show. And I was there making funny and talking silly things.
Oh, okay.
But then I abandoned it here to your
I'm sorry.
show.
I'm
Your
sorry,
show.
Bancroft.
I prefer your show. Your show is better.
Oh, it's been said.
Wait! Now you're trying to make me fight Bancroft. Well, like first of all, everybody is fucking streaming right now, and I know John is doing a lunch stream, and I know that if I don't hop in after the show, he'll be mad at me. But listen, we've had this stream planned. I planned these. I booked these like weeks in advance, okay?
Yeah.
So don't be mad at me for doing the stream and having my wonderful guest here on. I always plan the HELLION ARTSHOWs weeks in advance. So let's go because this is a promo show and I am dedicated to doing this. This is the 74th episode. Can you believe that?
Wow. Okay. That is dedication.
That is dedication, man.
How did we get here? I've been doing this for 74 weeks. Holy crap. But yeah, so don't be mad. Don't be mad at dedication. We're just trying to promote everybody and talk about some cool comics. The Colombian connection. Yeah, that's right. Oh, thank you, Granda. You are so sweet. All right, that's enough blabbing. I'm not here to complain about stuff. We are here to introduce you guys and let everybody know about your projects. So for people who perhaps don't know you guys, haven't seen your previous appearances on the show, why don't you let everyone know who you are and how you came about to doing these current projects. I'll start with you, John.
All right. John Hervey. I'm a longtime lover of comics, have been working in comics for quite a while. I think, I'll go ahead and I'll age myself. Let's do this. I was my first time being published was in the mid '90s with Image, and I've been fortunate to work on a number of different projects. And now, thanks to CG, I'm able to work on my own projects. And what can be more rewarding than that? Than being able to see your own creations come to life, and just the community has come alongside Rod and I. And Rod and I, we've been working together. I don't get the numbers. I don't get the number. I don't get the.
No. It's better don't talk about.
Yeah.
We review our age, man. It's a long run.
We should talk about this. It's great.
Okay. I think I first contacted Rod. I want to say in 2003, 2002.
Whoa!
Yeah.
I think. What's the age of your oldest son?
My oldest is 16. So,
oh my God.
Because he wasn't born yet.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
In fact, I wasn't married yet.
Yeah, bro. We are friends since before you get married.
That's
so
right.
You guys go way back. Well, if it makes you feel better, I do have artist friends that I know from about that same length of time. So
nice.
It's fine. We're all old.
You have to have those friends from way back. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's really cool though is just kind of seeing how so many of us have. I mean, we've all seen the world of comics change, in dramatic ways, and we've learned a lot also from manga, and I think hopefully we're being able to bring the best of all these worlds together when we're telling our stories.
Yeah, the landscape really has changed in the American industry, hasn't it? It's wild, kind of. Even coming in at a later date, like me, I moved to the U.S. in like 2007, 2008. It's still, you can tell the change, like the way you get into industry is different. Of course, is like even beyond the politics of it. It's just not the same anymore. And I think we need an independent movement, and we need people like you guys who are publishing your own work and willing to put it out there. And I try to do my part as well. But
girl, you're killing it. I'm so proud of you. You are. And the thing is,
she's assassin. Killing.
I remember when I first met you, Rini, and then when I learned the breadth of your skill set, I was just like, oh my gosh, this girl, she could do everything. I mean, all of us have the abilities to do some things, but I'm like, her artistic talents are so broad that I was just like, okay, I'm not worthy.
Oh well, I mean, if you say so.
But yeah, I feel the same. She, of course, she worked before, but she shows up from nowhere, and then boom, skyrocket, and she does everything. She's a show businessman girl.
She does. Oh, I do the woodwork. I was like, what can she not do? This girl. I was like, she every form of media.
Business.
She can knock it out.
Everything. I think. Whoa, wait.
You are too kind. No, you are too kind. I am merely starting out. I am figuring out my path, along with a lot of other people. There are so many more experienced people and so many actual industry veterans, like both of you guys have probably worked in comics longer than me. So that's just, I admire all of you. Everybody who is in this scene, everybody who's putting a book out. I am just impressed by everyone's tenacity, because it takes a lot to do this business. This ain't easy.
It ain't easy. It ain't
not
easy.
At all. You don't just put a book out there and then it happens. You don't have a publisher taking care of shit for you. You have to promote yourself. You have to wear, everybody has to wear multiple hats, even if you're not both a writer or artist. Like, even if you are only part of the creative team, right? To have a successful project, both of you guys you're collaborating each on writing and art, but you're here promoting the project, and that's usually something that, like, in a previous era, you have a company taking care of that for you. You have people taking care of fulfillment and printing, but we have to do all of that. So this isn't easy, and I'm just impressed with everyone in this scene. Everybody in CG, you guys are all awesome.
The crazy thing is we're just scratching the surface. Because what I'm always reminded of is, you know, when I do, what's up, Eric? When I do go to a show, how many folks are still like unaware of this whole scene? You know, and you realize that there is just so much growth to be had. Yeah, you know, and it's like Rini said, we're all grassroots, so we just you know, this is how we do it. We just keep adding and keep adding and keep adding.
Yeah. I mean, part of me understands. It feels like, and we do have such a large audience already, and more importantly, it's a quality, not a quantity. Like
they engage a lot.
Everybody, like, just the fact that it feels like what we're doing, it is niche because comics are niche, and what we're doing is like a niche in comics, but just the fact that there are so many people, like there are 2,000, I still can't believe there's over 2,000 people who backed my book. That's still an insane number because it's not on a bookstore in front of the public. It's you have to go to a website, and then it's also crowdfunding. You have to have faith that I'll put out the product, and it's not a book that you can already pick up and hold. Like, just I'm so impressed that people support our projects, and so
it's a big deal.
I would love to grow, and I think we will. I seriously think what's happening in the independent scene, and in Comicsgate is going to be a large part of the industry going forward.
I think so.
Absolutely.
We're watching it transform right in front of our eyes.
It'll grow. It's one of those things where I think because if you want, it's almost inevitable that the independents would be rising in a time like this, you know. I know we're in the early stages of it, and with the naysayers can say what they want, but I think the stagnation from the mainstream necessitates the independence and a space where people can be truly creatively free to occur, and that's what's happening here. So it's hard, it's not easy, but you know, that's what nobody who does this expects it to be easy.
No. The funny thing is, all of us either have or wanted to work at some point for the bigger companies, and then you realize as things degraded, you know, you needed to play a different role in this whole ecosystem. So here we all are. It wasn't the initial plan, but it's the right plan. People are making their own books. People are promoting their own books. People are building their own brands, and it's awesome.
And I really see that we are starting a new era of comic books, at least on the American book market, because now as independent comic book creators, we are seeing that we need to have a big business. Like, you need to be present on social media. You need to be present on YouTube. It's not just drawing. You need to be a nice person. You need to deliver the product. You need to talk with the fans properly. So it's not anymore. I'm an artist and I'm a famous and.
You can't just hide in a corner. Unless you're Kenneth Rocafort. I think Kenneth is the only person who could be the hermit artist but still find massive success in a scene like this.
But
I'm not Kenneth Rocafort, okay?
I see him more like a shot. I don't know the word, but you know, the artist that is a truly artist. You know what I mean?
Artiste.
Artiste. He's the guy that finds. He doesn't need to be on YouTube. He doesn't need.
I know.
Yeah.
He's
That's the exception, not the rule.
But John said properly. That's his 1%. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But for the rest of us, I mean, honestly, though, the thing is, I think if he was on YouTube more, he would do even better. But he doesn't need to be on YouTube because he's already an amazing creator. But that's just the thing. It's this is being out there and promoting yourselves is absolutely necessary for what we do.
Yeah.
You gotta get eyes on it, like take people's eyes and turn them towards this and say, hey, you should back this book, like this book that I have pulled out right now. Magda and Posse, everybody go check this out as we speak. Don't don't forget that we are here to promote these. So go take a look at this.
For sure.
So Rod, you are the artist on Black Tiger, right?
Yeah, for a long time.
Okay.
For all the books.
All the books. Well, you're the artist on everything. Are you the
Black Tiger? Yep, everything Black Tiger.
Everything Black.
Yeah.
Magda's somebody else, right?
Yeah.
He's another.
Magda is Marcio Abreu.
Oh, okay. Well, let's go to Black Tiger then, and while we delve into who you are, Rod, and where you come from, and all that. So why don't you tell us your story? You're an artist. How did you start doing art? And of course, John mentioned that you guys have been working together for like literally 20 years, which is insane. How did that come about?
I'm drawing since I've born. You know what I mean? I started to draw with 11 years old, and I never stopped. Never had any other job. I put in my mind. I put in my mind and say, I don't care if I eat anymore, but I will live of drawing. You know what I mean? It was that kind of mindset with 11 years old that comic book bring to me, because at that time we didn't have live, we didn't have streaming videos, we didn't have superhero movies on cinemas. It's just comic books. The video game was poorly, everything was terrible. So comic books for me was the main entertainment, and was when I saw I think the first comic book that blows my mind was Dark Knight from Batman. I said, man, Batman can be like that, because before that Batman was like Adam West, funny kind of Batman, you know what I mean? And that changed my mind. And then I start to draw insanely every day, every morning. I arrive from school and go straight to my drawing table to draw. The kids outside say, "Hey, let's play with us. Let's play with Skatey. Let's play some ball." I say, "No, I need to finish my book." You know, man, I take so serious. I was insane, kid. I was taking serious.
We all know that feeling, though.
You know what I mean?
Well, that's how we ended up here.
Yeah.
You need that kind of insane tunnel vision if you're going to do art, because like nobody had a healthy, vibrant social life and also for their entire lives, and also is an excellent artist. Let's just put it that way. Like this takes a lot of time. It's almost like you have to focus on art and your craft and be obsessive about it, and then be like eventually try to learn some social skills on the way. But the art is the main thing.
It was totally for me, because for me it was even funny, because at the time I couldn't understand why everybody in the world love comics. You know what I mean? Said, come on, comic books. How come you don't love this?
I agree.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
And then
comics have like a bad rap. As in, like, it's like seen as like lesser literature or not literature. Especially in the West, it really, really annoys me. I can rant about this, but I won't. I'll restrain myself. But because I'm sure we all agree, and comics could be so much more. And I'd love to see that proven wrong. I'd like to see comics seen as real literature that everybody on the street and every regular people could be into, just like in Europe or in Japan. I want to see that in America.
I think it's got to be the independent movement that does that.
I totally believe that now is the time. And I started to draw and then became professional years later. We had a website on the beginning of the internet. See how old it is. Then we have a website named Digital Web. It was like a forum. You know what I mean? That people.
It was a forum.
It was a forum. People that would like to create a comic book post there. Oh, I'm a writer. I need an artist. Someone there would help me to make a book. And then John contracted a friend of mine to draw Black
Digital Webbing. I found him in the forum. It's like, artists wanted. or just so it's like, and there's a whole bunch of, so I mean, this is how it was transacted online back in the day.
That's pretty amazing. Like usually the kind of stuff just doesn't turn out that well, because it's like there's so many disaster stories that I've experienced it too. Because you can say, well, artists wanted, and someone will have good samples, but then like a bad work ethic, or they'll have a good work ethic, but then or something falls through, or artists who just like stop talking to you after 3 pages.
Yes,
and it's great that you guys actually it worked out from just. So you connected on a forum.
Yeah, back in the time, this happening all the time. I generally get some gigs here and there from another writers that the guys disappear. I did like 2 pages, blow. Then they don't pay me. It was terrible. Then I saw the concept art from Black Tiger characters in the house of my friend, and I liked the Kung Fu story and the drawing that he was making, but his was kind of change of art. I think he wants to make a tattoo art living. He wants to make tattoos. And then he passed to me. He said, man, you want to try to get in contact with John and see if you can fit in the project? And then I sent an email from him and start to working together little by little, doing concepts, layouts. And the thing that I love in John is that he was, since the beginning, since the first day, very professional. I think for his experience that he might have in publishing, he was very professional. So he answered all the emails, he gave all the reference, he writes properly like writer a plot with panel division. He always pay me on time. He pay me up front. Sometimes I'm needing money. I say, no worry. I need to focus on the projects. Here, give it 5-page advance. And then this gave me trust on him. And then years by years, we become friends. And then I start to give him some ideas of a story, like you said. You don't, independence market. You don't need to be just the artist. You can be more. So I see some kind of ideas. We start to see some movies different. Then I say to John, man, maybe we can mix that with that. And John always had this open mind, like myself. He always was open, not that writer that said, no, I'm an artist, I'm writing, and you are the artist, just drawing what I'm saying to draw. You know what I mean? He always open and accept some ideas. And we start to work together for many years. Eventually, my art start to get better. I start to receive more proposal of works, and he always waits. He always patient with me. Sometimes I say, man, John, I need to get this gig because pay very well, so I can draw the page right now. I need to break off 2 months and say, man, don't worry.
That is so kind. I wouldn't be that tolerant. I'd be very annoyed.
John is the nicest.
I'd be nice about it, but
he's the nicest person.
So kind of you, John.
So man,
the thing is,
he's the man.
Rod and Black Tiger. That's like peanut butter and jelly. I mean, when it's right, and it's there's just no replacing.
Yeah,
there was just no replacing. So I was just and the thing is, the character and the story, I mean, all of us grew together. And in this volume, you're going to see a lot of Rod's influence, a lot of things that Rod wanted to see in comics.
Yeah,
we started adding in here. So we go back to feudal Japan. You get to see some stuff with who doesn't want to see a mutant warlord, Japanese warlord, orc. Warlord.
And that's the fun thing about me and John working, because sometimes I get bored. Sometimes I say, let's draw this again. And then I send an email to John and say, man, what do you think that maybe we can get Black Tiger and put on samurais? And say, man, but does it fit with the world? I say, you are the writer, man. I'm giving just ideas for you. And then months later, they say, man, I found it. I'm finding a way to put samurais on the stories. Understand? And we start to work like that. And I said, man, maybe we can put some, I don't know, some monster. Let's put some monster. And this is so fun, man, that I could leave the book. I received many other offers to work in big comic books that pay better, and I never leave because I say, man, I have so much fun working with Black Tiger, so much
that's
freedom
awesome.
that I
I
never
love
leave.
hearing that.
I said to
Yeah.
John, I said, man, if you want me, I will be drawing. I don't care, man.
That's
And
awesome. I think like looking at this art, I love it when obviously you're talking about this project and you say you keep coming back to it, Rod, over and over again, and John, how you said Rod and Black Tiger are together. They're like an item. He has to be the artist on this, and I can definitely tell with this art you can see the passion for it. I don't think it's one of those things where sometimes you find an artist that really fits a project, and if you work well together, you want to just keep them on it. And I love seeing this sort of working symbiosis, this kind of collaboration work out long term. That's so awesome because that's really hard to get to, not just in comics, but in any creative industry. It's hard to find people that can do the work, that have a style that fits, and that you personally work with. Trust me, this stuff is really hard to find that perfect balance. And everybody has growing pains too, which is the thing that we don't talk about. We don't talk about that because we got to be professional. But the important thing is it's like every friendship. Like friendships, you have bumps and you get into fights. It's like, why did you say that thing? And then it's like, no, you misunderstood me. But the important thing is finding the people that you're willing to move past that stuff with. And like the work is good, and if it fits and you can be professionals about it, then that's perfect. And you guys obviously have hit that sweet spot.
And the good thing is, like, my perspective always was, when I provide a script, so I like to flesh my scripts out completely, and I'll even break it out by panel, but it's not to say that the artist can't deviate from that, but I want to give a full, since I'm not the one providing the art, I want to give a full visual of what I see. And that ends up, and that reflects in a couple of things. Either Rod sees it and says, man, that sounds like a great idea, or he'll see it and be like, that's crazy, that we can't even, that won't be able to do that. Or he'll be like, oh, I see what you're trying to do. This may be a better way to do it. So when you have that, because I know a lot of times artists, I think writers will sometimes, in my mind, defer their job to the artist, and then, instead of driving the story, they'll be like, oh, I kind of feel like a lot of some of kind of what the Marvel way is really kind of doing that, and it's kind of unfair. But it's like, hey, this is the vision. This is what I see in its entirety. And then it's like, okay, well, that gives the artist the opportunity to say, like, hey, there are parts of this vision that are really awesome. And there's some parts of this vision that aren't as hot. And you have to have, since everybody's in it to try and make the best product, you have to be able to receive that and be like, okay, because I don't want Rod to do something and be like, yeah, I thought that sucked too, but that's what John wanted to do, So he's very real with me. He's like, I don't think
that's important.
You gotta be open to the feedback. Honestly, it frustrates me when it's. I think we've all worked on projects where you'll finish something and then somebody you're collaborating will say, yeah, I didn't really like that, but I thought this is what you wanted. So why didn't you tell me?
it's too late now.
No, I want feedback. I don't know, like that. The project takes precedence over my damn feelings, but it's good that you guys have that understanding and that you are accommodating of your artists as well, because I like seeing a collaboration where it's everyone has their roles, but they're open to feedback from each other. That's what a team is.
That's right.
Morally, your icon is very distracting, but thank you for all the links. Oh, and by the I can't look at it. Your linking game is so strong today, but that icon.
Seriously, that's some serious kung fu.
Holy shit. But everybody go check out Jimmy Reyes's campaign Dragon Rage. I appreciate the links for that. If you guys didn't know, Jimmy has some health problems, and he's in the hospital right now. He has heart issues.
Keep praying for him, guys.
Yeah, everybody, please keep him in your thoughts. He's toughing through it, and he's being a real professional about it. But everyone, go give him some support. I'm sure he can use it. Check out Dragon Rage.
Yeah, absolutely.
Silver Ogre, what the heck is going on in that pic? I can't tell if they're crashing into each other or if they're dancing, or. But
there's a lot going on in that pic.
Somebody wanted to see the butt, so that's why I'm focusing on it.
Oh, you see a lot more on the pages.
Yeah, I know you guys are not shy about the butts and the splits and the TNA on this book in particular. You have
beautiful.
So much TNA. You have a preview campaign. I can pull this up, right?
That's right.
Okay,
that's right.
I'll share it. Here we go.
That's just, and it just displays some more of the art. I mean, this campaign is not launched, but at least this way you guys can see some of the fantastic art and get a little bit of a flavor of the story, because it is picking up where Volume 1 left off. And the fun thing about this story, and Rini and I were talking about it kind of backstage, just in general, when you're telling a story, at first you're kind of laying the groundwork, you're letting folks kind of see the world, and so you don't always get to just take off running. You're trying to lay this book, the world has been well established, so it just we're running for 76 pages, and it is fun. It's kind of frenetic. Yeah. And all the pencils and inks are completed by my man Rod. He's already completed all of all the line work.
So done, baby. So done.
Fantastic. So you're well on your way, and you just have inks left to do. Inks and colors, obviously. Look at this action. Oh yeah. Speaking of splits and butts.
So we're about, in terms of colors, 2/3 of the way done with color. Ooh. And 1/3 of the way done with letters. So the intention is by the time we launch in September, we should be really well down the road in terms of production. And then by the time the book, hopefully, the campaign is done, then all the production is completed.
Oh wow, that's awesome. Yeah, so you're really far along already. That's impressive. This is a good idea too. I hadn't even thought of, I don't know, I haven't seen anyone else who does this. Showing the preview campaign while you're doing the signups. That's a great way to kind of sneak peek everything.
You're the first one I've ever done this with.
Ooh, wow, I feel so special.
As you should.
Thank you. Yeah. This is a great idea, though. I might do it. I think I showed a preview when I was building the Fiendish 2 campaign, but it was just like I was talking to some members about what tiers I should do, because I was anxietying over that. But yeah, like showing, this is very enticing, and you can show so much more on the campaign. It annoys me that the sign-up pages on Indiegogo just don't have much. You can show like 4 images and that's it.
They're so limited, and it's like they're structured already for you. It's like, hey, pick from one of these templates, and boom, and you're just like, this is not how I want to set this up at all.
Yeah, I want to see more art, more space, more flexibility to it. Eric the Guapo asks, what are the tiers, and will original pages and or sketches be available?
So original pages, 100%. There are going to be a lot of great original pages that'll be available. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, Hidden Dragon is the second story arc. So volumes 1 and volume 2, it ends up to 151 pages of story. There's a story that precludes this, which is Legacy of Fury, which is another 172 pages. So if you are completely new to the Black Tiger world, which Eric is not, you can get Legacy of Fury, which is our first book that Rod and I worked on, 172 pages. Then you can get both volumes of this, another 150 pages. So you can get a lot of Black Tiger. And then, of course, you can get some original pages. Rod, it's up to you if sketches are going to be available.
Yeah, we need to think how to do that, but totally, man.
Definitely be a limited offering.
Right.
Most definitely.
All right.
I mean,
Perhaps
Rini, you've had these experiences, like provide, you know, and then I know you've done a ton of production outside of the book, fulfilling.
Yeah. Well, with
that's
like
something I think
the
about it. No,
original
go
art
for it.
stuff. You want to be anything besides from actual interior pages. You don't want to overdo it because then you just be like you'll take on too many sketches and then you'll just be sketching for like 3 months while trying to do fulfillment, and it'll just suck.
And then send it over all of that. Yeah. I think the original page is already good. Maybe some 5 or I don't know 10 special sketches, something very very special.
Yeah, or just do like sketch cards and limit it. Definitely limit it.
Limit.
So, you know,
Yeah. Please limit.
Like 60 of them. Daniel Sola said, I assume these are all digital. They are not. These are original pages, right? Or actual like physical pages.
This one I don't remember because some pages I did digitally.
Oh.
I think this one is original paper.
Okay.
The other one that is colored, I think, is digital. But I need to. This one is paper, and this double spread is very.
That's a double. That's a
As a double spread page.
Oh, so you actually switch. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's a double splash.
Yeah. Ali says, play the trailer. I shall. Let's see.
So there's a trailer. There's a trailer, but then there's also an animated trailer as well. So
I saw.
I'm thinking Ali wants to see the animated trailer.
I will. Let me just go ahead and play that. I want to get through some questions, but let's just play the trailer first because I feel like that would be a nice point of interest. And let's draw everybody in. This is a pre-launch trailer. Hold on, your animated one was in the sign up, right?
Yes. So the animated one was like at the bottom of the sign up.
Here we go. All right. Let me know if you guys can hear this. Yeah? Can you hear that?
I heard that.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
I did hear it. There it is.
So what?
So you're not going to woman up and come clean?
There's nothing to admit, Kenya.
Really?
It's done.
Get us out of here.
Yes, sir.
You stalked Brett, and then later you made a date with Derek.
Stalk is a strong word, and I didn't make a date with Derek.
Hey, are you lost?
Well, if you really want another shot at Captain Christian, you better pull yourself together.
Don't call him that, okay?
Don't cry. We'll find your family.
Kenya, it's not religious. It's
a stampede! This sounds like a job for...
Don't say it. Oh no. I've got you.
We're trapped!
Run!
Fire! Pour it on! Got it on the rope!
What in the world? Oh my god. They're connected. Stop it. You're killing her.
There she is! Fire!
What?
Lethal force has been authorized on this beast, and we're bringing you in too!
Not the beast. Where are you, idiots?
Change fire mode to electroshock! There she is! Freeze, Black Tiger!
You forgot your bag, Black Tiger.
That was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I
mean,
wonder why
Right.
Allie wanted us to play that so badly.
That's right, Allie. She did an amazing job.
I
Melanie B.
wonder.
Hey.
It was so
Dying of
amazing.
Days.
It was me
Awesome,
with Allie's
awesome.
voice. That's
Yeah,
hilarious.
she did an amazing job.
Yeah.
And
that
and
was-
the thing is, I've been sitting on this for a while because they did this towards the latter part of last year, and you know, I didn't want to just release it and then like, you know, have nothing to connect it to.
Nothing to connect. Yeah.
You know, so they were really gracious and they were really patient.
Cool.
But I was so happy with that whole
Man.
animated piece.
Yeah,
I love
that was super cool. That was super. I mean, just Michael Rushbrook, hello, what's up? How did they do the animation? I'm wondering that as
I
well.
would ask you the same thing.
I mean,
I'm
it
telling you.
probably you take the art and you cut it up, but it takes a lot of work though,
It
because you're
takes
taking
a
the
lot.
comic art. There's no program that does it for you. You have to like
No.
cut out the characters and paint behind the
Mhm.
characters and stuff.
So I mean,
that-
and Dying of Days did all of that. You know, I'll
the
tell
Dying
you.
Days that YouTube did that.
Yep.
Shit, there's so much fucking talent in comics game.
Dude.
You guys are fucking crazy. I love you all.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Dude, I was looking to the trailer, man,
That's
and imagining how many work it to cut all this, because it's my art in movement, but I didn't make in different layers, and
Yeah.
we had to cut every single pieces, colored parts, drawing parts that didn't show up. Man, crazy work.
So yeah, there were that was not layered. Like for instance, the image that you're seeing here, this was layered. So first of all, for various reasons now, I'm making sure that I have layered files of everything. A, to help if we do more animation in the future. But like this scene on this picture here, she's basically in a maze, and the images in the background are images from prior comics, basically showing that she was being watched, that she was being recorded. So basically, I'm telling you, CG has so much talent. So I mean, was able to work with Alex Garcia, and he actually was the one that took the images and put them in the backgrounds, because it was one of those things where I was just like, how am I going to actually do this thing with the, you know, with the screens? So I mean, there's so much talent in this community. You know, I literally just reached out and I was just like, dude, I know you're good with Photoshop. Can you do this? And he was like, yeah, just, you know, basically green screen, have the colors green screen the back. And then he, you know, he did his magic. And I'm just like, wow.
That's amazing.
Yeah, because that sequence was drawing all on paper, because it was before I started to draw digitally. So when John sent me the email saying, man, can you separate the characters from the background? I say, oh my God. And I say, no, let's do it. So I need to cut every single character, but sometimes for instance, the hair, I need to fill in the hair because cut it wrong. So I need to fill in, separate first foreground, middle ground, background. And then I can imagine the animation to make that. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Put it all in movement.
That's impressive. I was thinking this is like the first serious thing I've seen Dying Days of YouTube do. Like, because he's really good, but he usually makes joke videos with really great animation, but they're not serious. But this is nice seeing him do like a serious trailer. That's great. We might be talking sometime soon. Dying Days of YouTube, hit me up.
Right? No, and Allie, she did her homework, and she even mentioned it in the chat because we had done a live action kind of a TV pilot, kind of live action pilot back in now it's back in 15, and she watched the pilot. She did a really great job of like matching her voice to the voice of the woman that played Black Tiger in the live action pilot. If you guys ever want to watch, just go to my YouTube channel. It's there. You guys can watch that too.
All right.
At Beyond Time INC.
Yeah, that's very, very impressive. Good job, everybody. And good job, everybody who worked on that. Dagosella asks, how long have you been working on this volume?
Years.
Years.
Well, it's one of the years. Black Tiger is.
Years.
So one of the things that we want to do is, and we've been trying to get as far along in the production processes as we can before launching, just to try and take that element out. That because I get it, there's risk, and we've delivered books before, so hopefully that gives people comfort. But we also want folks to know that this book is, all the line work is done, 2/3 of the colors, 1/3 of the letters. The issue won't be you not getting your book. That won't be the issue. Hopefully there won't be any issues. But you'll get.
No, you will definitely get your book, because this is you fulfilled many campaigns before, and you are so far along with the art on this. You've been MIA for a while, but it's for a good reason. You've been working on this.
Been working on this, and being a coach to my 16-year-old's basketball team. Honestly,
I'm following him on Instagram. I'm seeing, man.
Yeah.
Aww.
No, it's been fun. My son, he's really become a high level player. He ended up getting ranked in the city, and then it just kind of turned into a lot of different stuff. So it's kind of fun for him. He's getting opportunities. That's his love. But I was like, man, I need to get back into the community. I need to, I need to, get back into the chats, and I need to get these books going again.
Yeah. Eric the Guapo says, John Hervey delivers. I know from experience. I have reviewed both Black Tiger books on my YouTube channel. So Eric the Guapo, and you guys, we all know he is not a gentle critic. He vouches for you, John. So
I appreciate that, my brother. Go to his channel and check out the reviews if you're curious.
Yes, definitely do that. Michael Rushbrook for $1.99. Thank you so much. Michael says, guess I'm separating my characters and backgrounds now.
Do it, bro. Do it.
you know what's funny? Yeah, it actually, if you're drawing digitally, you might as well. It really would help. And I kind of have done it. I actually already kind of do it, just not in colors, but in the inks. And now this has got me thinking like, ooh, hey. Well, fortunately, this is already done. So,
right?
Because you draw the backgrounds first, and then you place the characters in, and then you get and then you mask out any overlap. It's just easier to do it that way in Photoshop. And it's one of the reasons you draw digitally. But it's now that I've seen this, this is awesome. This needs to happen more, because animated trailers are fucking fire, and you don't need a full-blown hand-drawn animation. That would be great. Ideally, in my head, I want a full hand-drawn anime for my trailer. I want to do what Eric July is doing, but I don't have that money yet. I don't know if I ever will. But this is really close, and it still looks awesome. And you're seeing your characters come to life. So, I'm amazed by how far Dying Days was able to go with cutting out comic art and manipulating just warping and the animation and puppeting it a little bit. It was really impressive.
It's amazing. And the thing is, all of these resources, these great people, they're right here in our community. So it's my goodness. Because when Dying of Days, when I talked to him about it, I was just like, I'd seen what he had done on what was it, Tiger Blue? What was it called? Oh, come on. I think I'm killing the name of it. So he had done one before, and I was like, it was a black and white book, and it was really cool. And I was like, oh man, that looks awesome. I was like, I realized my project's gonna be more problematic. There's color, it's all flat. This is one layer, but he killed it. I was just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's crazy. Oh my god, I'm so impressed. I can't say it enough. You guys are fucking awesome. I love this. I love this scene. CG is so great. Fuck anybody. How could anybody not love what is happening right here? It's just so awesome. This is just what I've been wanting. Like the kind of creative energy and people coming together to make things and helping each other out. Like you can only listen, you can only dream of this kind of stuff and people coming together and being this eager to help each other out in the mainstream. That is not what is happening in mainstream comics at all anymore. This could only happen in the indies and specifically in Comicsgate or in just the general scene, I think in the Iron Age, but in the CG specifically. Like there's a reason that this exists. It is because we care about creativity and merit in comics. And look at what we can create. This is so cool.
Yeah,
let's go.
Yeah, living the dream, man. Yeah, living the dream.
I love it.
I love it. Every single time. I never get tired, man, to promote the books, to talk with the fans, to draw, to produce the comics, to answer emails. Never.
It never ends. I like
never
how you're like, I never get tired of this and this and this and then the mails and then streaming and then drawing and streaming and drawing.
Midnights, 2 a.m. I'm here. I don't care.
Listen, I do have to ask you something, Rini, because people are already ruining my game here. Because one of the things I did want to ask you even before coming on here is I would like, if you're willing to, and we can figure it out. I would love a Rini cover.
That would be awesome.
Yes.
Okay. What's my schedule? First of all, I would love to do a cover. Yes. My schedule, dear Lord, I can. Okay. When we'll talk. The answer is yes.
Okay.
I'm so much.
It'd be awesome.
Go.
It'd be awesome. There he goes.
Well, hold on. You're launching in September, right?
Yeah, but the book won't be. It's a 2-month campaign launching in September, so it'll just ruin like your holidays. It'll just ruin your holidays, you know.
Yeah. Well,
See, Eric?
okay.
See, Eric? Do it.
It's fine.
Just do it.
I have not said no to a comic or a cover commission yet. I should probably not say that because I'll get like 50 more requests. But yeah, sure. I don't need sleep.
Awesome.
No, I would love to do. I would love to do a cover for that. It is an honor. Thank you so much for asking.
I'm stoked.
Seriously, this is a cool project. I love the character. I love martial arts, and I'm so impressed by what you have been doing. I don't say that lightly, so yes. Thank you.
I appreciate that.
I'm excited. I will do my best.
It'll be amazing.
Awesome.
I'll try.
Awesome.
I hope I'm not a disappointment. Eric Winberg for 2. Thank you. Back John Malin's God like Malin. Wait, I didn't even read that until just now. Okay, listen. People have been saying John's mad at me for not being on his stream. It's not my fault. I have a regular Wednesday stream, and again, we planned this weeks in advance, and he just happens to decide to stream on the same time. I will hop on his stream after I'm done with this, but I am here to promote Black Tiger Hidden Dragon. I do this every Wednesday, and I will continue to do this because this is, yes, exactly. I am going to be a professional, and we are here right now for John and Rod.
Yay, Rini! See, she's a professional.
Professional. Sometimes, just sometimes.
Yes.
Once in a while. Sometimes not, but sometimes yes. Hatch 450 SX for 5. Thank you so much. Signed up. Will support on release. High level. Awesome. Thank you so much. Chris's is also asking for a Rini cover. Thank you. Thank you guys for thank you chat for getting me work. I mean, honestly, I'm surprised like the amount of times I've gotten promotion or work because of chat. It's really, we're nothing without you guys. And I mentioned this before. Did you know that when I launched Fiendish 1, like I didn't reach out to anybody to promote? It was, I just put it on Indiegogo and I was like, yeah. I don't know what like people back it. Yeah, maybe I'll post on Facebook. All my Facebook friends that had never, you know, I mean, some people definitely supported it, but it's like, it wasn't out in front of really anybody, but it was the people who were in CG who came across Fiendish on Indiegogo, started super chatting streams and saying you should bring this campaign on. And so I am here where I am right now because of chat, because of the fans. Nice. And that is, I will never forget that. It is because of you guys. You guys in chat and you guys bagging our books. You guys are awesome.
Now I remember the first time having the honor of talking with you when I was streaming with Ryan, and it was just like, oh, this looks cool. We don't really know anything about this book, and then Rini comes on, and you're just like, dude, what is going on? And it's like, she's like, yeah, I do this kind of art, I do this kind of art, I do this. And me and Ryan are just like, oh gosh, we're scrubs.
What?
We're just like, wow, that's an artiste.
Oh no, I don't know. I still have so much to learn. I mean, everyone's always trying to improve, and I'm the same way. I'm just constantly impressed by what everybody is doing. Good action is one of those things where, I mean, with what I'm doing with Fiendish, it's a different kind of action. I feel like fantasy action is different than doing superheroes or modern. Like here you have this awesome car chase scene. With fantasy, it's a little different, but there's some overlap with like if you're doing superhero action stuff. But my problem is I started out kind of low fantasy. I want to build up to like the huge, big people with like giant blasty nuclear bomb superpowers blasting each other. But it's, I don't know. I still have a lot to learn. We've got a long way to go. And
I think the way you're doing it is good though, because what it does is, I mean, it's like it's almost you just kind of continue to level up, and then people are kind of along for the ride and they're buying into it. So by the time you get to the really big things, people are already like, okay, well, I understand how this world works, and people are good with it. And I kind of, as someone that enjoys stories, I like the leveling up, I like that. I've always liked that, that kind of approach of like, man, this world is growing. These characters are growing, man, And I think that's what you have the capability to do with Fiendish, and I think we're going to see that, and we're going to be like, man, you'll be how many books in, and we'll be like, okay, this is a whole different level.
That's what I'm hoping for, like a gradual level up, but it's, as long as it works, It's one of those things where, as a writer, I'm sure you know this, there's a certain technique to different types of storytelling. Sometimes you can just go all in. It depends on where you're starting out in the story as well. Are you starting out when a character already has their full powers and the conflict isn't about learning their powers, or is it they're starting out in a lower power level and the story incorporates an improvement with their powers, all this kind of stuff. So there's a lot of nuance to this, but really there's no one way of doing things, and what's important is people enjoy it.
Yeah, and you enjoy the process of making it as well. I think that's one of the things that for me is always palpable. I can always tell, man, these folks really love these characters, and that's what I'm loving about indie books. People are telling stories, and you can tell they love the characters and they love what they're doing. There's nothing worse than spending your money and you realize that whoever was doing this, they don't even like these characters. They don't even seem to like what they're, you're like, why are you doing this? Go do something else.
That was absolutely the vibe. Yeah. They just, it was just a job to them. And I'm like, comics is so much work. Why would you be doing it if it's just a job? I mean,
you storyboard for advertising. You make more money and easier.
I know, exactly. If you just want to do art and it's just a job to you, and if you're not invest in, if you don't care about what you do, then what, like any storytelling medium, I don't understand because it's so time consuming, and the product also, well, the most important thing is the product isn't going to be good if you don't care. With storytelling, with advertising or graphic design, that kind of stuff, it can be just, pure skill and or like UI design. It can just be logic skill. You don't have to like have your heart in it. But I really believe in storytelling, you have to care. And the audience, again, the audience can only care as much as you do. So your investment personally will determine the success of your work, and that pans out. That's the creator, but that extends to everybody else who works on the team, works on the project. And I firmly believe that, among other things, one of the reasons why so many projects in whether mainstream Hollywood or in mainstream comics are failing, it's because, first of all, these people don't seem to love comics. They don't put comics first. Half the shit they put out are Netflix pitches, but also at the same time, they don't really love the projects. They don't care about it. It's about something else. It's about either their own ego. Mostly it's about their own ego, or it's just a job. And I experienced that when I was working at Marvel. That's what I felt like. Everybody was there to do a job. Some people love what they did, but I think a lot of those people also just didn't have the space to flex their creative muscles and really grow, because it was so stagnant and it was a very corporatized environment. It's not the way it is here, where everyone can really grow and find the niche where they fit in best and find the people that they work with best, right? You're kind of like you're kind of assigned a job by the company, and like the company doesn't give a shit about what you really are, what your strengths are, if that makes any sense.
It does.
So it's just not how art is supposed to be made.
But that's also the reason why manga is so much more successful. I mean, publishers realize their job is to publish. Let creators create. Let publishers publish. Peanut butter and jelly. Let them, bring it together. But you have these publishers that are trying to own everything, and they only want you to, So what ends up happening? Things get dry. You keep recycling the same things over. Oh, we need to make this relevant. We need to make this politically. I'm like, nobody is in this for any of that. We're all here for the escapism, for great stories. For people, you want to see stories from folks that love storytelling.
And I remember when I was trying to get in on Marvel and DC back then, when I make huge heaps of sample pages, I had the opportunity to work in an agency that worked with so many different talents, Brazilian talents. And there I noticed that American comic book market of big two, it was like make a bread or a product like anything else.
Making bread.
Because you know what I mean? It was the same.
Yeah, I agree.
Thing. Because I sit side by side of big artists on Marvel, and some guys just draw the faces, other guys draw the body, other guys draw the background, other guys draw the. So I saw that, and then the guy signed. You know what I mean? A famous artist sign. Was Rod Luper that did that book. What was it? You know what I mean? Was many kids, assistant artists doing. So in the end, the pages start to like one page good, one page not so good.
Really?
Another page they see the same, man, what has happened to the book? And that starts, because Marvel and DC is all about deadlines. They need to push for a book monthly, and at the same time, before a time in the publisher machines, I don't know the name, because they have discounts when they pay the book. So it's all about deadline. It's not about art. It's 5 or 6 books that they think about art. They contract the big shots, the famous one, to push forward, but below them, man, it's just to fill in the shelves. You know what I mean? It's
exactly.
It's not love anymore. It's not love anymore.
Right. You have the people who I think there are still good creators in the mainstream for comics, in the big two specifically. But I think the people, those people who are getting constant work, are good artists, are really able to grow and also get paid what they're worth, they're grandfathered in. I don't see any new people going there. Like the new people with talent aren't going there, because I think first of all, the big two have this problem. They don't want a repeat of Image. They don't want to risk an artist getting too famous and breaking free.
No,
so
that
you
never
never.
happened.
First of all, they don't want to they don't want to have too many star artists anymore.
Yeah, they won't allow anymore.
Especially
They won't allow
like
anymore.
writer artists. I mean, I'm surprised they gave Sean Gordon Murphy even a chance with that, but I think it's because they know like he's not going to break free and do some Image shit, and he's not going to break free and do like us crazy assholes over here. I say that with love, and so they know they want people who will play it safe.
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
Totally feel it.
It's the crazy thing that they don't realize though is like it's the rising tide really raises all ships. I mean, yeah, they had a lot of talent that jumped to Image in that time, but hey, Marvel and DC did well during that time too.
They did.
That's the last time we had million-unit books.
Oh my god! Yeah, we were just on. Ethan was looking at the sales figures for. We're watching some documentary on. Well, there was this like new YouTube comics channel talking about mostly Liefeld's career, and so he covered how much comics were selling in the early 2000s and the 90s. And I'm like, it's mind-blowing. Like the conversion rates for inflation now, it's just something like over 1 billion, some crazy shit. And it's just unbelievable. Like imagine the industry selling the units specifically.
Yeah.
That today. And imagine the artists taking home the money that they were taking home back then. Today, it would but comics are doing great, guys.
Artists were getting paid. When I was working over at Motown Animation, that's when I met Marat Michaels, and I remember when he came over to Miracle Mile area where we were working. He was over with Rob over in Anaheim. Man, he came over. He was all at 20 years old. Came over in his sports car. We went up to La Brea. We were hanging out. I mean, people were making money. This is the guy that was working under Rob.
And this is weird because back in the day, we were dreaming to see our Marvel and DC characters on the movie theater because we was thinking, man, if the movie theater start to buy comics, we are made, bro. Because it'll be heaps of money. But that never happened. It just the selling of comic book just dropped. Just dropped. You imagine it, man. If the whole world will know who is Iron Man, the comic book sells, you rise up. But never happened. It goes down. Every time goes down. Because they start to change. They start to change the soul of the character in the comic books.
There's
in the movie is the base, is the first Captain America, is the first Iron Man, is always the first. It's not the second one, the third one, the 11th one. So when the guys, I'm thinking to myself, but when the guy leave the theater, I pump it. I want to buy a comic book for Iron Man. Man, let's go to comic book shop. And then they will arrive there and then knows Tony Stark. Where is Tony Stark? They don't produce comic book of Tony Stark anymore. That's it, bro. The guy don't get back anymore to a comic book shop because he's not a collector like us that collect comic books since kids. He's a father of 2 kids that he wants to buy comic books for his kid, but he wants to see Tony Stark from the movie, the Iron Man. And then he get in the middle of the story. The Iron Man is another character, is a girl or is a alien, is it something else?
It's Riri Williams.
They never connect.
They were, when at the height of the MCU, almost none of the comics matched up to what people were seeing on the screen. And I've heard anecdotal evidence of people saying, well, the movies did lead my kid to buying the comics. It doesn't, I think the larger scale sales kind of are the evidence to the contrary, that because the MCU is doing so well, why aren't the comics conversely being lifted up? It makes no sense. It's baffling. But I think the problem is obviously that because it was first of all, the industry is broken and it is stagnant and it's over corporatized, and it's these companies aren't willing to take risks anymore, and that is completely against how you create good art. But obviously, the mainstream has been taken over by crazy activists who just want power, and what they realize is cultural axes like movies and comics and games have power. They don't actually love storytelling. They don't love your movies. They don't love your Disney. They don't love your comics. They don't know shit about your characters. So maybe they read like a Wikipedia article and then they say they've been reading comics all their lives. What they want is cultural influence, and they saw when the MCU blew up, with especially like Iron Man, early stage MCU, that was clean. That was like pure creation because those characters were from the comics. That was the essence of who the characters were, and it was successful because there was that connection between the comics and the movies where there was no agenda aside from we want to show you how cool Iron Man is and we want to show you how cool Captain America is. But then as soon as MCU became popular, activists realized that, well, if I take over comics, which is has a lower bar of entry than the movie industry, then the comics influence the movie, so then we'd be able to influence the culture, and that's exactly what they did. So as the years went on, as movies kept coming out, the comics were changing because they had been taken over by these crazy activists that had effectively guilted their way into the industry by saying, well, you just hate women if you don't hire me, which makes no sense. I mean, you don't do good work, but I guess, if you scream, apparently there are some idiots out there that will give in if you just say misogynist enough times or racist enough times. So that's what happens, and they ruin their own product, and they're wondering why it doesn't sell as well. Well,
and then you're a racist or a misogynist because you didn't buy the trash.
Right, and or you're a racist or a misogynist if you even point it out, and look where we are now. Well, I guess they could go fuck themselves. I just want, like, some people actually care about comics, and it's not that there weren't people trying to save the mainstream, but I mean, that's how Comicsgate happened, I think. But it's been going on for so long. Like all these years later, this has been an entire cultural debate for 6-7 years at this point or more. I think we're here because largely, at least the way I feel, is it's not our job to save the mainstream industry. What's important is comics as a medium. And if we could create something new, if we can just find the talent and build upon whether you want to call it a parallel industry or just make something great and put it out there and sell it through crowdfunding. We don't need all the distribution models. We can find something new through the internet, through YouTube. And that's great. Because like creating the comics are what matters. It's not these companies. These companies don't come first. The cultural power isn't what comes first. Not even the money is what comes first. The comics and the stories are what comes first. And all the other stuff will happen if you just make good comics. It's the other way around from what they're thinking. They think that the cultural power and the control and the ideology comes first, and the comics are just a medium, or the movies are just an avenue, like a tool for that. No, that's not how you build a stable foundation. I mean, it's so obvious, but activists don't understand it because they don't care. They're not.
I was about to say it seems obvious, but people have gotten it completely backwards.
Yeah, totally.
It's interesting, but the thing that I'm grateful about though is that's the whole reason why this movement exists. We're all doing what we're doing because of that, and of course it's kicking against kind of the goads, and it has some folks very upset. But then they should go ahead; they can be upset.
Yeah,
let them be mad.
Yeah,
I care, and I always care about comics and stories, man. Always. I don't care about politics, who is left, who is right. I don't care. I care to bring entertainment to people, and in comic book media. You know what I mean? I don't care. I grew up watching Indiana Jones, the first Star Wars. You know what I mean? The movies that make you dream as a kid. That's what I want to make as a comic book artist. I want that a kid read the book or the adult and had a little time to get out, get out of the reality and go to the stories. That was the main goal. Never care about who's the president, I don't care about it. I care about doing my next project better, my
Yeah.
next art better.
So I know
Right.
Eric the Guapo was asking about some of this art. So this is a character that I know he wanted to see return, who's a Brazilian capoeira expert.
He bought it. He bought almost
Ooh.
every single page of the
Yeah.
sequence.
This
Did
book,
he?
Yeah,
Nice.
he bought, I think 10 pages of the sequence of
Holy
them
shit.
fighting against the capoeira guy.
so these
Oh.
pages haven't been colored yet, but basically, so you have the influence from feudal Japan, and here you get some ancient Mayan influence. So we travel the globe and we span time in this book.
And this is the kind of the thing that happened with me and John. As I don't know what we were watching. I think I was watching some Discovery kind of thing, TV show. And I see a huge temple, and I say, man, I would love to draw that. And then I would need to send an email to John. And then I write the email, man, can we fit 5 pages of a huge, good temple on the Black Tiger story? And say, let me. And then he came back 3 days later with the pages filling the story, makes sense to the character. I said, man, that's it. Thanks.
Amazing.
Just let me draw.
That collaboration is all
Oh, it
coming
was
together.
so good, so good.
These backgrounds are great, by the way. I love this.
Thanks.
So detailed.
Yeah.
Let me get to. Oh, go ahead.
I love on the panels. That was something that I learned when I watching classic movies of Steven Spielberg, like Indiana Jones. I like to bring the eyes of the reader to the panel, to inside of the panel. So I use perspective, foreground, background, shadows, everything, thinking to guide the eye of the reader through the page.
Yeah, the contrast is really good, and with the foreground element, there's a lot of depth, there's a lot of contrast. I mean, you might know what you're doing, Rod. I don't know if anyone knows that. I mean, yeah, you're decent at this. I don't want you to get a big head or anything. But, I guess you should probably back this book, just like Hatch for 50 SX did. Thank you so much for the $2, and thank you for backing Volume 1.
There's a part of me that's considering maybe doing a limited run of just black and white versions of the book, because because
let's do it.
The colors are awesome. Amazing. But the black, and when you just look at it black and white, it does something else. I mean, there's a different kind of depth just to the black and white. So who knows? That could happen.
Yeah, the black and white is really, like, it's so textural. I support that. I love seeing black and white comics. I love seeing those artist edition kind of books. Hatch 450 SX for $2. Oh, he was asking this earlier. Is there a place I can get Black Tiger Volume 1? It looks like you found that place. But
yep.
The first book is still in demand. Is that right?
That's correct. Okay. Volume 1 is currently still in demand.
So I assume when this book launches, you close that down again because you would have a catch-up tier. Okay. So you can still get Volume 1 until Book 2 launches, which is this is the preview for the campaign that we're watching right here.
That's right.
This is
so now it's going into the other volume. So here you get to see Volume 1. It starts from Volume 1, and then below that is from the first story arc. So just letting people see that there's a wealth of stuff for people to enjoy.
Yeah,
Eric bought it. There's this sequence.
Yeah,
Eric bought all the pages.
This was the first encounter in the jungles of Brazil in the Amazon. So it's pretty cool.
I love that sequence.
Yeah, I love that silhouette final panel. That is awesome.
Yeah.
These environments. Mr. Burger for 5. Thank you so much. Mr. Burger! I know I missed your super chat from last time. I'm so sorry, but thank you for the super chat. You sent right at the end of the stream, but I missed it. Thank you so much for a $5, but it's still, it was on me. It was on me. I was like, was it? When was it? Was it last week? Was it Creative Block or something? Anyways, it was my fault. Thank you for the 5, Mr. Burger. The book looks amazing. May you be showered by the prosperity and glory of John Malin's eyebrows.
No, now I don't know how to take that. I don't know how to take that that blessing, considering that John's eyebrows are kind of sparse, if they exist.
So I can explain. Mr. Burger has apparently started a cult religion around John's non-existent eyebrows. I don't really know how this works. Is it if there's enough is there like a spirit that needs worship, and if there's enough worship, his eyebrows will come back? I don't know what's going on here, but
so there may be some more to this.
There's some more to it. Maybe there's some mystic magic behind yours. I don't understand. I'm going to talk out my ass about this, but Mr. Burger is proponent for worshiping John Malin's eyebrows. And please go to him if you have more questions, because I don't know what's going on. But thank you very much for the $5, and thank you for your support. Mr. Burger is awesome, by the way. He has a animation channel. You should go check him out. He's an awesome supporter. He backs a lot of books.
I got to check out his channel.
Everybody go check him out and give him a subscribe, please, por favor. Create TV for 5. As newbies in the indie comic scene, my brother and I love seeing this sort of work. Currently creating 4 100-page comics and love seeing all of this. That is awesome. I look forward to seeing what you create, TV.
That's awesome. I mean, these guys are producing.
Yeah. That's another awesome thing about CG is there are so many people who were in chat, who were backers, who have become creators, and who went from being comic fans to being comic creators. And I don't think that's sort of not how the mainstream works. That's very rare. It's almost like it's not even just about, well, obviously anyone can just create a work and they can put it out there, but it seems like in publisher comics, it's almost you have to know the right people. You have to kind of you have to not just put out good work, but you have to make the right connections and shit. It's so like office politicky. It's not even politics. It's so office politicky, and I think everyone here is so supportive, and that's the main thing. Where we don't really give a shit if you have it, even if it's your first book, if it looks good, somebody will give it a chance. And you just have to prove yourself. Just do good work, be nice, and actually fulfill your books. And that's the most important thing. So everybody has a chance. This is truly merit-based. It's an equal playing field. So that's awesome to see. I look forward to what you're putting out. I know, for example, Down Goes Solo is putting out a book soon. And it's called Wrecked. That's going to be
nice.
Another fantasy series, and I'm going to be doing some designs on the cover for it. Another cover.
Hey, let's go!
It's going to kick ass. So you should watch out for that as well.
Yeah, you're not busy. You're not busy, Rini.
I'm not busy. I'm not busy at all.
Nice.
Gilberto Trinitas is Rini. Are you? What? What does that mean? Do I want to know? I don't think I want to know.
I don't know. Yeah, sometimes it's just you don't want to know. You can't know.
I don't want to know. Hatch 450. RG is one of the most successful too. RG is very successful. Yeah, there's obviously there's Comicsgate, and I don't know if RG he's cool with CG. I've been on his channel, but this is why I try to. It's like it doesn't. I think Comicsgate it's definitely a network with its own thing. This is I haven't really thought of how to explain this, but there's also the larger scene of what Razor Fist is doing, and I know Yellow Flash says he is also going to be putting out a comic, but I know he does say he's part of Comicsgate, and Eric July is kind of doing his own thing, but in a way it doesn't matter. In a way it matters, but in a way it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's just people who are in the indies, who are doing what we're doing, and on our side in the sense of not politics, because it's actually not about politics. It's about people who want to create comics and want creative freedom. That's what really matters. I think that's where I think this creative renaissance in comics is going to come from.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean by when I say, well, I want our side to win. I want to support our side. That's what I mean. I want people who aren't just here to kiss corporate ass and to just chase clout. I want people who want comics to matter. It's very simple. It's very simple.
Yeah. No, exactly. And that's what's going to grow this movement.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
You know.
Mr. Berger for 5 cult. This is a perfectly legitimate religion. How dare you? That's so weird about worshiping someone's eyebrows. Nothing weird at all. Not at all. Thank you, Mr. Berger, for the 5.
That's clarification for you.
It is. It was very clear.
Yes.
OSAV says I'm calling people out. I'm not calling anybody out. What are you talking about?
Just having a friendly chat.
Yeah. No
You
fighting. No fighting.
Yeah. Friendly chat. Little truth telling. It's all good.
I'm not calling anybody out. Oh, don't try to make me fight anybody here, okay? I love everybody around here and all of you in CG.
That's right.
Let's scroll down and look at some more of these awesome pages. This is from book 1.
Yeah.
All the splits.
One of the things that I love, hey, you're always going to get that. That's just how it works. But one of the things that I love is I always love fight choreography, and especially in these types of books. So Rod is very patient with me. I'm always, choreographing fights. Yes, Eric owns this.
Yeah, he got it.
I think he owns the majority of that whole Brazilian thing.
I
But
think
but Rod always brings me back to earth. He'll be like some of the things he's like, dude, that's just not.
Yeah, because sometimes the writer think that we are a filmmaker and we have actors to say, go there and jump. You know what I mean? I said, man, this amount of information in a page. No, I want the leg there, and then the camera turns, and the feet here, and the hands here. I said, man, it's a paper, 2D. It's not 3D. And
that's why I appreciate Rod.
That's so cool, man.
You have to have that pushback. You know what I mean? It's just like he's like, no, or he'll be like, oh, we can do something else. So I think we push each other.
I don't remember what page, but I think one of the sequence of fight, I think I made almost 6 layouts trying to fit what you have in mind, and I was successful. I'm trying to say, no, I will put all the panels that he wants. He wants 6 panels, I will put 6 panels.
Yeah.
Never.
You learn quickly.
I give up.
Yeah, he's like, I can't just take this guy at his writing. I gotta.
Pages, 3 panels there, 4 panels there.
I know the feeling though, especially with fight scenes. Sometimes it's like the way you see it in your head. Even if you're drawing your own damn writing, it's just it doesn't always directly translate. It's a bit of a struggle because you don't want the fight scene to be too long, but you also don't want to skip any steps. You want everything to make sense. So it's like comics are not easy, guys, because it's not like Rod said, it's not a movie. It's not just having the actors fight each other and you just like kind of move the camera around and like use some cool like up shots and stuff. You have to take the page design into account. You have to think of things like, well, does the composition flow? But the action also has to make sense, and everything has to connect, and then all the actions have to fit with each other. But then you have to keep things in mind, like the 180 rule and your head sizes, and that's just a million things to keep in mind all at once. So there's a lot of thought that goes behind all of this work, especially action scenes. So I want everybody to appreciate this.
and people get wrong. Comic book is not about pretty pictures. It's about storytelling. It's not about pretty pictures. And sometimes when you like to draw, usually that's why I prefer to do layouts before to start to draw the proper page, because I start to straight to the paper. I will focus more in drawing than storytelling. Because the size, and I will put, I'm freaking manic of details. I will put many details. I will lose this Z kind of reading. So, like in this page, like you see on the monitor, you see the fist of the guy hitting the ground almost, but your eye flows to the face of the third panel. The leg reach the face of the guy, and then the tree bring your eyes to the last panel. the leg of her push your eye through the horizontal last panel, so you see
Oh,
what happened
yeah.
at the end. So you have like a zigzag reading, and this is I'm trying to put in every single page. So I bring the camera back and then the focus and bring it back and focus.
Rod does a great job with that Will Eisner, you know, drawing your eyes from one panel to the next panel.
Yeah,
This is really well done. This is the flow of the action and everything, and you have limbs breaking panel borders, but it doesn't distract from the flow, and that's really important because that is really hard to do. This is really high level stuff, and you did this composition really, really well. This is really fucking impressive.
Yeah, thanks. I always think in composition talks. I always think in composition when I'm planning a page. I generally do very short layouts, very tiny, just to see if the panels can read properly without the details, without the big figures, like little sketches, and then I blow up a little bit, and then I go a little more details. Then send to John, and when he approves, I start to make the drawing, and then fix it there. Maybe sometimes I just turn around the panel a little bit, just the eye goes there and it goes down and goes there.
Yeah, it's pretty. There's a lot of it is there's technique to laying out a comic page, but a huge part of it is also just instinct. You have to draw a lot, you have done a lot of comics, and you build up a good instinct for how to lay out a page. But obviously, you have that down here. All of these pages are so well composed, and it flows really well, and you are a master at action. I love these action scenes.
Thanks.
All this. This is all from the first book.
For the first book.
Yeah, I just want to remind everybody, this is a preview of the campaign. We're looking at Black Tiger Hidden Dragon Volume 2 that'll be launching in September. But what is available right now is the sign-up page. So if everybody can sign up for the campaign, Black Tiger Hidden Dragon Volume 2, what will people get if they sign up?
So if you sign up, we have a number of goodies for those that purchase or back a physical tier. So we have, so you'll get something. It's an assortment of things. We have, for a select few, we have some T-shirts, we have some prints, and we have some stickers. So you're going to get something. We just got to figure out how we're going to randomly figure who gets what. But definitely you're going to get you're going to get a goodie if you buy back a physical tier, if you sign up early, which would be most appreciated.
All right.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Nice.
That's awesome. More goodies is always welcome.
Yeah, and everything will be available. So if you've never read Black Tiger Legacy of Fury, you know how we do it, metal bookmarks. Worked with Phoenix Animation the last couple campaigns on metal bookmarks, and I'm a big fan of the metal bookmarks.
I have my one.
I use them.
I love it.
So you guys will love the metal bookmarks. But so Legacy of Fury, which is the first story arc, 172 pages, you'll be able to get that. And that's a full 6-issue story arc. Now you'll have volume 1 and volume 2 of Hidden Dragon. So it's 2 complete story arcs of Black Tiger goodness.
All right, 2 story arcs of Black Tiger goodness. Sign up right now. If you like what we've been showing for an hour and 30 minutes now, this is what you want to do right now. You want to come to this page and sign up right now you don't miss out when this campaign launches. Do you want to talk about Magna real quick as well?
Yeah.
Because this is actually your live campaign. So yeah, this is also by you, John. So
this is by me, and it's all in the same universe. This campaign actually has volumes 1 and 2, so the complete story arc for Magna. So it's all 6 issues of Magna: The Last Pantheon, which is a story about a coming of age for a young woman. As the backdrop is World War II. And, just like any fantastical story, finds herself amongst pantheon of it's a hodgepodge pantheon of the last deities in the world, and they're striving basically to survive. So you kind of learn what her role is in all this, who she is, and how she can basically come to prominence to save these last members of this hodgepodge pantheon. It's a fun story. It's much more of like kind of a high adventure type feel to it. And it just brings a lot. I've always been a big fan of mythology growing up. So it brings, mythology from a whole bunch of different cultures under one, under one book. And it's just a fun ride. And then the other book here is the first volume of The Posse, which is a totally different concept. It's in the same universe, but it's basically a story of a couple of two guys that are from rival gangs, and how they end up being tested upon and having experiments done on them, along with some other inmates in a privatized jail. And there's a big jailbreak, and these guys end up eventually having to put aside their differences to help save their city. So that, and it's all in the same universe. So it's, trying to world build, Rini.
You're gonna have a Hervey verse in a few years, huh? That's what's going on.
For sure.
Ah, see what's happening here. Back to Hervey verse.
Little by little.
This is the Beyond Time universe, y'all.
Beyond Time universe.
Right. The Beyond Time universe. You should just say it's the Hervey verse. That's how that works. That really rolls off the tongue. Come on, just
the Hervey verse.
Yeah. Down Gosella asks, "Are you building a crossover?"
There's a plan.
I am going to bring all these characters together.
Yes!
Nice.
So I love this mythology stuff too. Like, you guys know I'm a fan of mythology. Ancient mythology is like my jam. So this is cool, and I love that it's all going to be coming together. That's fantastic.
So it's like, and that's the beauty of comics. I mean, it's like I enjoy different genres. So even though it's all in the same world, you get a lot of different feels. I mean, I love the martial artsy Hong Kong film type feel. I love mythology, and I also love just kind of kind of some of those street level kind of gangster tales. So you get, between the three books, you get some of all of that in there.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I like how every book has its own sort of vibe and almost its own genre, but it's still and even different artists, but it's still distinctively you. It's like it seems like you give pretty clear direction. And from what Rod was saying, you definitely give clear direction for the action, like what you're doing with the action and the martial arts. Have you done martial arts?
Yes.
You must have done martial arts. So like you actually, because it seems like you had to be really hands-on and have experience with all this stuff. So you could tell like this is a John Hervey book with the action and the muscly girls and the splits everywhere. But at the same time, every book is its own genre almost. I think that's really cool.
No, I appreciate that. It's and like, what's the use of doing comics if you're not doing stuff that you're really enjoying?
Absolutely.
You should be, if you're making a book, you better be making a book that you want to read.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
And I think that was one of the big things for me, even kind of with CG and the whole movement, is just like I'd stopped reading a lot of just comics from the shop, because I was just like, apparently I care about this stuff more than the people that are creating it. And to me, that's a problem. I'm like, I'm spending my money for this, and I care about it more than y'all do. That's a problem.
Yeah.
Right. I don't understand it, but I've already ranted about. It's like every stream I have to rant about it at least once. But the fact that the people creating comics in the mainstream don't care as much as the readers and the longtime fans, you're right. It all boils down to that, because the readers can't care more than the creators, and the fact that the fans were all this stuff about toxic fans and fans think they have ownership of our product. Well, no, the problem is they absolute insane people who just wanted power and clout took over the industry, and they didn't care about the actual product or the comics or the characters. And then because they thought that, well, the only thing that matters is power. They don't have any love for this. So they thought if we just take over the power, then everybody else, you're a bunch of like stupid little minions, and you're the fans who can't think for yourselves. So you're just going to follow and just buy whatever that we put out because we're these big companies and we have power. You're just going to consume. But no, when they actually had pushback and fans said that we're not happy with your product because our hearts are invested in the characters, and you're breaking character, you're breaking what the series was created, and then they called the fans toxic. And
exactly.
Look at where we are now.
You're a racist. You're a misogynist.
Right. Well, because you're supposed to care more than the fans. That's supposed to be how good art is created, and the fact that wasn't happening is why the fans were offended. And it's not about having ownership over the comic. It's about the investment. The fans gave their support for so many years for you to exist. You as a creator need to always remember that, and I know all of us here know this, but I'm talking to the people in the mainstream who don't understand this, but they're not real creators anyway, a lot of them, not everybody, but you know what I'm talking about, the crazy bitches. You as a creator have to remember, you're only there because of the fans. It's not, your client is not the corporation. And what I noticed when I was working for Marvel is I got the distinct feeling that the client, we as artists and creatives, we were being hired by the company. We were there to please the company. We were there to please the corporation and a lot of times the editors, but not the fans. And that's so messed up because the fans should come first. It should be about what's going to entertain, what's going to actually make the people buying the books happy. And that wasn't coming first. So they lost track. They got too comfortable. They lost track of why they were there in the first place. And that's why we're here, because there's going to be a natural revolt when you fuck with mythology and cultural mythology like that. And that's what comics is cultural mythology.
It is. It absolutely is. And I think that's one of the things, like when I think about the bridge between manga and anime, I mean, there's so many different like old manga that I ended up reading like back in the day. So it started like, man, I saw Crying Freeman. Then I started to pick up the manga. I actually
Crying Freeman was really good.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, and the bridge was so deep. I mean, it's like that was the story. So then it's like I had to keep reading, but with the content out here, like you were saying, Rod, there's absolutely no bridge between the comics and the movies.
Yeah.
And you're just like, this is not one is not driving the other.
Mm-hmm.
It's a complete. It's an absurdity.
Because we should take advantage of this wave. We lost 10 years of movement. 10 years of big screen superhero movies. We lost it.
It's kind of sad, isn't it? It's like it's sad, but it's also.
Imagine if we work it out. Yeah. How many readers we bring it from a Captain America movie? Can you imagine around the world?
Oh my God!
Can you imagine? You were, I don't know, driving Ferraris right now. You know what I mean?
That legit just made me sad, because think about when the MCU was at its height, if they had actually done the comics right and harnessed that publicity and energy, we would be in another 90s era boom. Yeah. Maybe if they had because of rising tide raises all boats.
Rising up everyone.
And the industry has risen and fallen based on Marvel and DC for years. They're supposed to be the leaders, and the problem is they aren't leading. And then the fans are asking why you're not leading, and then they're like, shut up. You're supposed to just consume and not ask questions. But imagine where we would be. You're right. We would all be driving probably not all of us, but we have a chance at it, and if only they had harnessed that publicity. If they had done comics right when the MCU was at its height. God, that legit.
Imagine if they managed to sell, I don't know, 2 million books again of Captain America. Everyone will look to other kind of books. You can have not everyone likes Captain America. You like a fantasy book. So you bring all eyes of around the world to buy comics, and they lose it.
But the comic book industry has been broken for a long time, especially when basically, Marvel and DC set up their kind of duopoly with Diamond. That put a lot of different publishers out of business because there were a lot of other books that were going on. Once they set that up and made that direct market, they basically made a duopoly. And that's not going to work itself out well. It's like, and the funny thing is they did that, but then their numbers continued to shrink. So it's like they shrunk the market. They shrunk competition, but they shrunk the market. And now the market is so small that it's, when I was in the 90s, when I was at Motown Animation, they went out of business because our books were only moving like 30,000 units in the mid 90s. Man, what they would love to move 30,000 units of something today. It just goes to show you that the market has absolutely evaporated, and it's all self-induced. They did this to the market. They squeezed out the market.
Yeah, they did this to themselves. It's not COVID. It's not some like miraculous recession. It's not superhero fatigue or what the fuck ever. That stuff is all complete bullshit. If you create, is anybody talking about shonen fatigue? Let me ask you, superhero fatigue. Is anybody tired of shonen? No. How long has shonen been coming out? Because the Japanese equivalent of superheroes is shonen. And again, let me make this point again, because manga shamelessly sorts itself by genre according to demographics, and in America you're not supposed to do that because you can't say, well, this is for boys or for girls, but the manga is unashamed. You can't even
say what's a boy or what's a girl in America.
You can't, and because it's stupid. Our society is broken, but like basic common sense is verboten. You can't say it. But let me just make this point again. The Japanese equivalent of superhero comics is shonen, and then we used to have more mature comics, Vertigo and similar publishers, and was seinen, which was for adult, primarily male audience. Again, that's the target audience. That doesn't mean, well, women are excluded or anything. That's the primary audience. You need to have a target demographic. It's not exclusionary. It's just you need to have a target demographic. That's how you actually create something that's cohesive and know how to. You can't create something that's for everybody. It doesn't exist. That's not how stories are told. You can have widespread appeal, but you can't create for absolutely everybody. And the problem was they saw that. So comics as a medium, in general, tends to appeal to mostly a young male audience more. Shonen is the largest market in Japan. And in America, superhero comics has always been the largest market because for many reasons, young males tend to gravitate towards the medium the most. It's just like gaming has an imbalance. And it's always going to be like that. I'm sorry. Like men and women are different and age demographics are different and all this stuff. But it's not exclusionary. That's just the way it is. But the problem is in America...
We shut you down for saying that men and women are different.
Oh yeah, I don't fucking care. It's ridiculous. You're not allowed to say these basic, obvious things. It's not hateful. It's just a fact, and it's not exclusionary. I've been reading comics and manga all my life. It's not exclusionary to say the stuff I've been reading all my life was made for a primarily male audience. That doesn't mean I'm excluded. It's just like fucking stupid to say that. But the problem in America is they took what was the most popular, which was superhero comics, and they said, well, we want this to appeal to everybody. So what they did was they changed it from its core to make it, well, let's have all the characters be sissies and be talking in cafes and looking at their phones and make it really, really girly. And I'm not even of the opinion that you can't make comics like that. My opinion is that's not superhero comics. If you want to make girly ass comics, make a different genre. Make your shoujo comics. What they're doing in America and what has happened in Marvel and DC, mostly Marvel, is they have effectively taken something that was shonen and just turned it into shoujo. And if they did that in Japan, it would be so obvious that what the fuck are you doing? Why are you taking something like Naruto or My Hero Academia and turning it into like just everybody talking about their feelings on like a shoujo comic? People would revolt, and you would understand why. So why, when it happens in America, people don't understand it? It's because we're so politically correct, and we've been conditioned to not say these obvious things that we just kind of let it happen. But it's so obvious what they're doing wrong.
Yeah, because you will get vilified if you point that truth out. You will get not just ostracized, you will get vilified if you point out these obvious fundamental truths. You are some kind of racist, sexist.
I completely reject that. It's stupid. There's no ist about it. It's just basic facts. Yeah, it's not exclusionary either. I completely support if you want to do like girly comics, and if I support more women reading comics. Why would I not? I've been reading comics all my life, but the problem again is target demographics. What they should have done if they wanted more girls to read comics was create separate lines that appeal to women and girls. And you know what? In the American industry, they used to have that. They used to have different genres, real diversity, which is diversity of genre and diversity of creative ideas. They used to have that, but for various reasons, the American comic industry just keep on like fucking itself and cut out everything except for what superheroes were doing. And I think superhero comics should thrive. That's great, but if they wanted to bring in girls and women, well, they should have done separate lines. And it's probably not going to sell gangbangers like Iron Man or Spider-Man, but it'll do well if you do a good job.
It'll have its niche, and they had those past.
You will have a niche.
They had, all these different types of comics, and it's just like this whole thing of creating a duopoly and forcing everything, just like you said, they forced everything else out. I'm like, how is that good for the industry? Even as the biggest player in the industry, why would you do that? It's a stupid play.
It's not at all. It's not at all. And it just baffles me. But again, because as somebody who actually cares about comics and as a creative, it seems pretty obvious that if you want to appeal to a different demographic, you make a separate line. You make different kinds of comics for the demographic. What you do isn't just take what's popular and change it to a whole different target audience than what it was made for. But again, these people don't understand these things. They thought that the audience would just follow them, that everybody who buys comics were just stupid lemmings that wouldn't have any opinions if they changed what they've been reading all their lives. It's strange. And it's really a travesty because like what we were just talking about, if the MCU, all the attention at its height was harnessed correctly, comics could be back in every corner store and in every grocery store. We could have had a renaissance, and that was missed. The American comic industry could have been where manga is now. When I'm in Asia, in Asia, there's like tons of convenience stores everywhere because people life is centered around convenience stores and 7-Elevens in Asia. And every convenience store, not just in Japan, in Taiwan, Singapore, even mainland China, Hong Kong, has manga. There's a manga rack in every single convenience store. That's like every block has like a 7-Eleven in every city. And that's how widespread manga is. And we used to have it in America, and we could have had that if only the attention that was on comics 10 years ago was harnessed. And if only they had actually done comics for women and girls, right? It'll be niche. It wouldn't be as popular as Spider-Man and Iron Man, but it could have been done, and you would have had a dedicated audience and women and girls reading comics, because that's what they have in the Japanese industry. You have josei and you have shoujo, and those industries do really well. You have a lot of dedicated readership, and then you're fucking everything up in America and wondering why the fans are mad and nobody's reading comics.
And then vilifying the fans, saying, "Hey, you're not picking up this garbage."
Yeah, the fault is only on the fans.
It's like when you say it out loud, it's so obvious. It's so absurd.
It's ridiculous, obvious.
Yeah, it is. When you say it out loud, it sounds like, am I taking crazy pills? Is this really the world we live in? But it is. I need a drink. I know. I'm gonna calm down. This is like the 5th time I'm ranting tonight. I apologize. At least I'm glad chat seems to be enjoying it. Oh man. Oh man. Yeah, I know the mangers, right? Well, this is my channel, so nobody should be surprised I'm talking about the mangers. And again, like I think I've clarified this before, but I don't think American comics should copy what Japan is doing. What I'm always saying by bringing up manga is, first of all, I'm just more familiar with the manga industry because I grew up in Asia. But what I think we should pay attention to is the fact that I don't think American comics need to copy manga in any way. Not art style, not business model, none of that. We should do our own thing, and I think what we're doing right here in Comicsgate is going to be the future of American comics. We don't need to change a thing. If you have a natural manga influence like me, that's great. I'm not ashamed of it, but we don't need to copy manga. What I bring up manga all the time is I want to hammer in the fact that comics can be mainstream. The audience is out there. I've noticed that in the American industry, even people who do comics for a living seem to have just made peace with the fact that, well, comics in general are niche. They're just not going to do as well as novels or movies. There's just not money in comics. Bull fucking shit. If we do it right, if we put out good comics, if we harness the right audiences and we get it out enough, if we're persistent enough, we can have the same amount of popularity as manga, because there is no seed in the human mind where people just don't read comics. Like, this medium is fucking awesome, and the regular person is open to it, and the popularity of manga proves that the regular person is open to the medium of pictures on pages and what we're doing, comics, because it's all comics. It's just from a different country. The regular person is open. We can do it. It can be popular. We're just not fucking doing it right, or the mainstream hasn't been doing it right, but we are. Back.
That's right. You heard the one.
Yeah, he's not playing. Say at all.
Not playing it.
Sold. That's it.
That's what I'm talking about. Which is, you hit the nail on the head. But I think this whole renaissance, it's happening. And it's going to reach.
Yeah, exactly.
People are doing well with their with campaigns, but it's going to reach a tipping point. I think it's going to explode. I don't know what that's going to look like, but I feel like, these comic book readers, they don't want to disappear. I didn't stop reading American comics for a while because I thought I outgrew comics. It's because they suck.
Yeah.
And then once I found stuff that was good, I'm back in.
Yeah, people are out there waiting for a good comic book story. You can see what happened with the zombie comics. Famous one.
What, the Walking Dead?
Walking Dead was a black and white comic book on Image. Mm-hmm. The guy that wrote the comic sold it for the editor that there will be aliens in the story to be sold for Image Comics to make the deal. The guy was waiting for the alien to show up in the story and never happened. And he made a really normal zombie story, but with the focus on the human side. Mm-hmm. That is the cool part. So, and look the size of that became Walking Dead.
Right, that's a great example.
It's possible. It's totally possible, bro.
Just make good stuff. Just make good stuff.
Regular zombie stories. That's it.
Yeah, normal. The Walking Dead was interesting too because it proved that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't need to come up with a superpower that nobody else has. If you can, then that's great. But honestly, the most popular and most endearing stories, I don't think, very rarely do you have works that really reinvent the entire medium. Yeah, and it almost has to be at those pivotal societal points, stuff like The Matrix, I would say, that really reinvented and birthed the medium. Yeah. But the point is, stuff like The Walking Dead and so many other works, even what Tolkien was doing, I don't think he reinvented it in a way where he didn't invent fantasy. There were many writers before him who did what he did. All he did was he didn't reinvent the wheel. All he did was he committed so hard and he did it so well that it defined the genre. That's what he did. So all you have to do is take what already exists and commit and do a damn good job and write the characters and make it really entertaining. That's all you have to do. You have to care.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean,
Totally.
I guess it's I guess what's the word? It's simple but not easy, if that makes sense. I mean, it's like what you need to do. I mean, what you need to do is simple. It's not easy to do it, but it's like people aren't doing the simple parts. It's like they're infusing all this other kind of junk into it. They're trying to have all these other agendas. It's like, make something that's good.
Yeah.
Make something that people actually want to watch. Don't worry about your agenda. Don't worry about whatever political thing that's the beauty of comics. I mean, that's not what unites us. What unites us is we love the medium. We love storytelling.
Simple, not easy. I like that. Exactly. You hit the nail on the head. I think that's a lot of creating comics. It's simple, but it's not easy because it takes time, it takes patience, it takes dedication, but it's not, the basic logic behind it is not hard. It just, you have to be very committed. And but man, you guys are doing it right. Like the work proves itself, or the work speaks for itself. And I've said this for like the 5th time tonight, but I'm so impressed by what you guys are doing and everybody in Comicsgate, and I think this is the future.
This is the future.
I believe in you.
Make good comics. That's all we need to do. Good.
That's right.
And picture books. I'm actually really tired. The more I rant, the more tired I am, because then I have less inhibition. So the picture book thing, I think that's going to get clipped, and it's fine. You can meme me. I speak like an idiot when I'm tired. Let me get to some super chats. Hash 450SX for 2. Thank you. The rants refocus a lot of us. Good reminders. I'm glad you think so.
Telling you, they're educational.
I'm worried about being too annoying sometimes, but like I said, sometimes I get tired and then I get agitated at the absolute state of things, and I just have to let loose for a bit. But people seem to like it, apparently. As long as you guys enjoy it. OSCV for $4.99. Thank you, Stefan. Irene, say happy B-Day to my old man. He doesn't understand this is live. It'll freak him out. His name is Carlos. Feliz cumpleaños, Carlos. I tried. My pronunciation is terrible, but happy birthday! I hope he's still watching. This was a while ago. If he's still watching, then happy birthday. Thank you so much for the super chat. That's cool.
Hey, Carlos.
Yes, hello. And thank you for watching, Carlos and Stefan. Oh, I got this one. All right. Let me see. Do I haven't missed any super chats? I don't think so. I think I got all of them. I hope it worked. I feel bad because he super chatted that like 30-40 minutes ago and I didn't see it. Oh, I'm sorry. I hope you saw that. Hey, Chris, what's up? Red Dress Press. Hail. It's natural entertainment. I'm glad you guys are entertained by that. All art and writing requires learning structure. Art is not just purely expression. That's right. It's not. If you want to express yourself, a toddler can do it. Art requires skill and actual structure. It's not just about your feelings. You speak Spanish, Rainy? No, I don't. I'm learning Spanish. I'm learning. I don't speak it very well yet. I'm like 2 years into Duolingo, but I don't practice as much as I should. There you go.
Duolingo's good though.
It actually works. It's just I don't have a lot of time, but I have been doing Duolingo pretty. I'm committed. I'm going to learn Spanish. I'm learning. Yo aprendiendo. All right. I think we've been going for a little over 2 hours. This has been pretty epic. I think we've covered a lot. We have covered a lot.
Great.
Sir Adro says, Suni, Senator Quiet Carlos. Oh, I actually recognize that pinging. I don't usually read pinging. Thank you, Sir Adro, and that is another happy birthday to Carlos.
Okay, thank you. I didn't know what that was.
It worked.
Is that some kind of incantation? What's going on?
Oh, he said he also said you paid for that pendejo. That's great. He didn't know it was live. He's like, you paid for that. That was sweet. You did. Oh my god, your dad is so funny. I'm glad he heard it. That's great.
Oh, rock on, Carlos.
Yeah, rock on, Carlos. Thank you for watching. And happy
That's
birthday
it.
again. True Latino father. That's fucking hilarious. All right. I'm glad that worked out. Yes, happy birthday again. Yeah, I will. Malin remembers why. Is his stream still so good? I said I'd hop on, but his stream is probably over. I'm sorry, but listen, I do this stream every Wednesday at the same time, okay?
Right.
It's his choice that he had to stream at the same time as my set weekly Wednesday stream where I always do a promo stream, and I have for 74 fucking episodes. So
Rini is consistent.
I'm consistent.
Consistent.
Yeah, go
Right.
back
That's the
godlike,
secret.
everybody. Go back, sign up for Black Tiger, Hidden Dragon, first of all. Go back Magna, and then go back godlike in that order. Because
that
I'm
order.
here to promote these guys, and I'm doing my professional duty. All right.
Thank you.
Stellar job.
Oh,
That's
he's
so
still
nice.
streaming. I'll hop on afterwards, and then he can yell at me and be salty for no reason. Thank you guys. This
Thank
was
you.
fucking
We
awesome.
thank you.
It was so good
Awesome.
to catch up with both of
I
you.
love
It's
it.
been so long. I love that.
Pump it.
It's
Energy,
the
pump it.
wisdom you brought. And seriously, amazing campaigns. I can't wait for Black Tiger 2. I'm so excited. You guys do damn good
Nice.
work.
You know what I'm excited about? I know it's less sleep for you. I'm excited about Rini cover. Let's go.
It's fine. I don't need to sleep. It's okay.
Nice.
It's fine. It's fine. I don't need to sleep.
I was gonna ask you after the show, but it was already but people kept putting it up there. So I was like,
The shots
I
is the way.
feel kind of like the dude that's like trying to propose to somebody on the Jumbotron, and you're like, is that dude gonna get dissed? They're like, hey, Rini, would you make a cover? You're like, no.
I don't care.
Oh, now you made it
Alright,
awkward
fine.
and you asked me like, no, seriously, it's an honor. Thank you so much. Absolutely, I would love to do a cover, and we'll talk
Be
more.
awesome.
It'll be great. I will do my best.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Rini. This was so much fun.
Of course.
really
Thank you
fun.
guys for
We
coming
should
on.
make more.
Yeah, everyone. Well, you have your handles in your names, but just let everybody know where to follow you real quick.
At Beyond Time Inc. You catch me there on YouTube. I'm not so good about streaming, but YouTube, Insta, and Twitter.
Yeah, for me the same. My nickname there, Twitter, Instagram. Just look for Rod Luper Art or Comic Book, and you find. I have a YouTube channel that I'm pretend to start to make more steady streamings. 3 kids in the middle taking care
Oh,
of
holy
kids.
shit!
Yeah, 3 kids.
Oh, that's a lot of work.
Now
Yeah.
I'm having my cave. I'm preparing my setting to start to make like regular art streaming and show and everything.
Nice. Yeah, you
Pretty
have a
soon, pretty
spiffy
soon.
new studio. So
Yeah.
That's awesome.
all right, yeah, that is awesome. Go follow Rod and John. And me, you can follow me again at Reading Draws. By the way, if you're watching and you haven't subbed and you haven't hit like yet, please do that. It helps. I know I'm not like a serious YouTuber, but like I still want my channel to do well. So hit that like, it helps. And for me, Gungo Sola asks, is there gonna be a stream next week? No, because I'm gonna be preparing for Tampa Bay Comic Con. Oh my god, it's next week!
That's gonna be
Nice.
fun.
That came up really quickly. I was 2-3
Comic
months
Con.
out. I have time, and now I'm like down to the wire. I'm like, I ordered a bunch of stuff, and I'm like checking the tracking updates every day because I'm like, please be here on time. Please be here on time.
All the time.
But
Oh,
I think
no.
most of the stuff will be here on time. But you guys want to see something cool?
Yes.
So I ordered. This is on my store. I have these snapbacks. By
Let's
the
see
way-
under the bill. What's under there's artwork under the bill.
Hold on.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So on my store, fiendishcomic.com, you can, thank
I
you for
love
the
it.
link, Bartleby. You can buy a bunch of merch. I have awesome merch. Actually, this hoodie that I was not wearing because it's really hot. Look, Fiendish, it's on the hoodie sleeve. I
Nice.
got a bunch of like super awesome swag, and these caps are on the store for like $25 each only. But
Nice.
these are I ordered like a giant box of them, and
Uh-huh.
I have decided that I'm painting.
Look at that.
These are custom. These are custom painted. This is not printed.
Oh, what?
Oh, you're crazy.
What?
So, the actual bills, they're just like green. So here, look here. Actually, they're green, but I actually have a sketch of. See,
I see that. Yeah.
I'm gonna paint this in. So this is my current project while I work on commissions and pack books, because I have like 80 book orders for book one from the store. Thank you guys so much. But I got a ton of book orders for book one after I went on Eric July's channels, and that was awesome.
Oh yeah, I saw it. I thought I watched
Yeah,
it.
which is awesome.
Really awesome.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
That was talking about Marvel DC. Imagine if you have that window bringing all together.
Oh, they didn't give a fuck, but that's fine. I don't need them. So thank you to Eric for the promotion and for the stream. And thank you everybody who backed book one from the store. So I am working on packing those, but in the meantime, I'm going to be painting these. I'm going to have these at Tampa Bay Comic-Con next weekend, and come check it out. It's actually like silvery and stuff. So
you're like the MacGyver. You're like the MacGyver of season. For sure. That's awesome.
I just like to do weird, silly stuff like this, but people seem to like it, so I appreciate it. But yeah, so check out the merch store, and if you can make it to Tampa next weekend, definitely do that. I'll be there with a bunch of cool stuff. I have like a sexy demon girl sketchbook. I'm going to have a bunch of merch. I have the snapbacks, and I'll have Fiendish 1, and I won't have Fiendish 2 because we're not. The books will be arriving at RJ's. The printer just told me like the 25th or 26th, so next week is when the books will be arriving. It's actually a little, it's actually behind my original schedule, so I already feel really bad about it. But it is also earlier than in some other, because the merch is complicated. The merch is taking longer than expected, and the books are a little later than I expected. But actually, my printer has been amazing. The turnaround was only like 3 weeks, and we have like almost 4,000 books. Actually, we have just about 4,000 books total between all the variants. Nice. So my printer has been amazing, and they have absolutely saved my ass. So I love them. RJ's going to be getting the books shipped in next week, and then he'll start fulfillment. So chapter 2 fulfillment will be starting next week. Everything is sent to production, except the standees are taking some time because we had to like troubleshoot some samples and stuff for like the Ragna standee. But I'll keep everybody updated. I should have another sample from the standee factory coming in like tomorrow. So I'm going to be updating the campaign tomorrow, just with pictures, just with an update about how everything is going, because I want to be transparent, and you guys deserve to hear about every step of the process. But yeah, so that's what's going on. Thank you again for watching. You guys are awesome. Now, if John's still streaming, I'm going to go over, and you guys can go over there as well and check out Godlike, and but after you bag all the books that we talked about today. Only. All right, have a good night, everybody. You guys are awesome.
Good night.
Bye. Good night.
Thanks. Thank you all.
Bye. 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 Bye.